The Mandalorian and Grogu has been anything but a success. But we confess we've never seen anything as bad as what we're about to share. It turns out the Walt Disney Company opened a brand new ride devoted to Jin, Pedro, Baby Grogu, however you want to say it. And crowds? Well, they scrambled, they ran. They were nowhere to be found. What if we told you, ladies and gentlemen, that the lines for a ride actually went down on the opening weekend for Mando and Grogu when Mando and Grogu showed up for said ride? It's hard to believe. In fact, it's something we've never seen before. Click the like button, we'll show you, and we'll point out the data that proves Mandalorian and Grogu, beyond even the box office, is officially toast. Well, ladies and gentlemen, usually when a movie is made into a ride, and when there's a new ride at Disney, people get excited. In fact, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad was just redone at Disney World. It had lines for like 2 hours for days. It did away with some other stuff and brought back, these new additions to things. And you'll have nonstop Instagram and TikToks, and you can't break through the influencers with their gimbals to get on the ride. But that didn't happen last weekend as The Mandalorian released and Disney released a brand new ride based on the character and Baby Yoda. For that park place, Disney's Parks' new Mandalorian Smuggler's Ride retheme sees low wait times on opening weekend. Now, I don't remember the last time that a new ride came about and the lines actually went down. In fact, you might have to go all the way back to something like Journey of Imagination 2.0 to get there. And we're talking about decades. Disney clearly hoped the launch of the new Mandalorian and Grogu mission inside Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Smuggler's Run would generate fresh excitement around the franchise. Instead, the rollout appears to have landed with a shrug. The updated Mando version of Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run officially launched over Memorial Day weekend at both Disneyland Park in Anaheim and Disney's Hollywood Studios in Orlando, but the attraction failed to produce the kinds of crowds typically associated with a Disney Parks debut. Now, I believe in this article, we've got pictures of what happens typically. We're going to go down and see if we can grab that. Here's what it looked like when Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, no IP associated, reopened. You couldn't get to the ride. And the same thing is true for Rock and Roller Coaster. The Muppets kicked out Steven Tyler and his Aerosmith crew, and guess what? Massive wait times to get over there. But on the same weekend, friends, on the same weekend that the movie opened, well, the box office might not be so strange. 35-minute wait, and we've got the timestamp here. Memorial Day. At 10 a.m., 35-minute wait, and we saw times low as 25 minutes on some of the premium times where you would expect to see, hours. None of that came to be. None of that came to be. Now, less people say, oh, Pro, you're making too much of this. This is not real.
No, this is abysmal.
Well, we've done our research. We have the data. Are you prepared, folks? Look what we've got out of Thrill Data that combines all of this info together. This line up here is the predicted time, this dotted line. It may be a little difficult to see, but we'll walk you through it. This dotted line is the expected wait time for the ride in this time of year, based on the previous years when it was a very crappy ride based on what, Jonas? A cartoon, a Star Wars cartoon?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And you right.
Hondo Anaka?
Yeah, Hondo Anaka. Who knows who that is? Nobody does. And what you do, congratulations. Way to go.
I like Jim Cummings, but yeah, this is not the standout character of the Clone Wars.
We love Jim Cummings. Oh, bother. But this is the wait time that they expected based on the past years of this very subpar ride. The reason they upgraded it is because it's a subpar ride. And these blue dots here are the actual wait times that they've experienced since this ride took over. Okay? So, and guess what? You might say, well, Pro, that's Disney World. That's not Disneyland. Maybe we don't see that with Disneyland, right? Okay? Folks, get ready. I mean, we got data for days over here. These are the months leading up to Mando taking over. You can see that we had an average wait time of, I believe, 39 minutes. That's right. For March. For April, we had an average wait time of 40 minutes, again at Disneyland. Mando comes in May, and the wait time actually drops. Now, that should not be possible because, again, if we go back to the article, look at what it appears to be when you open any new ride at a Disney park. You can't get there. And yet on the same day that, and we've got, see, here's the 25-minute. Let's see what the timestamp is. May 23rd at 3 p.m. It had a 25-minute wait time. This is awful. Jonas, I'm going to go to you first on this one. I think this is the most definitive proof we have that Mandalorian and Grogu in Star Wars are toast. And I mean it. Nobody cared. The lines actually decreased. That's crazy that the lines actually went down as the movie was opened. Your thoughts, sir?
Okay, so first of all, I need to give credit to Ivan from Park Hoppin with an apostrophe, not a G, for sending me the Disneyland version of this, and Marvin for being at the parks to spot what happened here. It was difficult to tell that this had opened the next day when we got the Disney World number, but it was that screen cap for Disneyland was the morning that the ride had opened. Millennium Falcon, sorry, let me do the full bit here. Star Wars Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, A New Mission is there more? That is the entire title for the ride.
Okay.
Like,
just checking.
Thank you, marketers, for ruining.
I want to make sure we get it right.
It's Millennium Falcon.
Okay.
Only Hagrid's is better because it's a fun way to say, as opposed to just remembering 3 different intellectual property.
Next time, if they want to add on Chewie's Revenge, I mean, we're totally game for that.
Now that actually sounds like a great name for a ride, honestly. Which is, if you aren't prepared for dairy, the other Chewies might get revenge on you. So, anyways, let's get back on topic here. This ride is the worst ride that Disney has ever made in recent memory.
Okay. I mean, it's really bad, but I mean, it's not the worst ride they've ever made.
Well, think about it and see if you can come up with one. There is
Tiana's Bayou Adventure, Jonas.
Well, Tiana's Bayou Adventure has the bones of a better ride underneath it.
Okay, true that.
At least there's at least the fact that they still have the Splash Mountain ride underneath it.
It's a horrible ride. I agree.
Right. So this one it's a video game. So it's a simulator, and it is controlled by 2 people. One has the up and down on the Millennium Falcon. One has the left and right. One person sits in the back and has a button to hit the guns, and one person has the engineer seat, which is to hit a button to essentially do nothing, but they want you to have a button. It is a bad version of Star Tours, and it is. There is no reason for this ride to exist. They wanted to have a Millennium Falcon ride, and that is the only reason that this exists. It is a video game attraction, which is the worst kind of attraction. Video games do not belong in the park, and also this should have interest because it's Star Wars and the Millennium Falcon.
Whoa. I like Toy Story Mania. It's a video game, okay?
Well, that's different because everyone has the same experience on Toy Story Mania.
Okay, I mean, it's a bad ride, but Jonas, here's the deal. It was a bad ride before. They switched it out with new characters for a movie release, and nobody showed up.
Right. Nobody came. No one cares about this property because, again, I'm going to go back to the same thing that I say every time. Star Wars is not a theme park property. This looks cool for Instagram or whatever, but no one goes into Star Wars land and thinks, "Wow, I'm in Star Wars." They think, "How am I in war-torn Afghanistan?" This is not something that belongs in a theme park. This is like saying, "Oh, I'm going to enter the Hunger Games." Like, you're in a bad spot if you end up in this. You are in the poorest part of the galaxy. What are you going to see? Maybe a slaver, maybe oppression. I don't know. This is not the part of Star Wars that I want to be a part of. Tatooine, maybe I could be a scoundrel. What's it going to be? The Jedi Temple? Okay, I can be a Jedi. This is some random backwater planet, and who fantasizes about this? So then you can also get on the Millennium Falcon after Han Solo died, and you can have a couple of kids pilot the vehicle while you just sit in the back and get sick. There is nothing
you can push
about
a button.
Other than you can say
there is a button.
Fly the Millennium Falcon, but it's the worst possible way to say you're going to fly the Millennium Falcon.
Jonas
back to the button.
Jonas did not get to push the button. I can clearly tell he was positioned away from the button. The man has button envy.
I dislike this ride. I would rather ride Fast and Furious Supercharged than ride this with other people.
The other thing that we need to bring to mind is that, and Christian, I don't know if you've even seen this, but we'll throw it to you. I think you can hit it out of the park regardless. They threw serious marketing at this ride. This is not like, we did this in the dead of night. They put Pedro, Sigourney, Filoni, Favreau, after the premiere, they sent them over to Disneyland and recorded this for the debut so that the day of, people would see this all over social media. Christian, I think this speaks to just how underwhelming the response is to Pedro. I don't think audiences care. I don't think people care. I don't think he's the internet's daddy, as they told us. None of these people have influence. Nobody went to go see the ride.
We're in a post-Pedro world, apparently.
Oh!
Also, I'm glad to see Sigourney Weaver's face move, because obviously she can act and emote. I just didn't see it in the movie.
It's better, Christian, it's better in this promo than in the movie.
By leaps and bounds. This is what you call anti-synergy, where you get actually a sucking sound instead of actually people getting to. What I
had thought of
many
it.
reasons why I enjoy being on the show is this kind of information should be in the Hollywood Reporter. I mean, they're talking about the movie, its cultural footprint. Then these things matter. This is a great snapshot of a bigger problem, and they're not going to talk about it. They're going to say, "Well, it's number 1 in Ireland." So clearly, the Mandalorian is back.
Oh, we're waiting for our next Disneyland over here. If only they build us one. Christian, I have to thank you. I never put that together, that this is better acting from Sigourney Weaver than in the movie, because the movie is bad. The movie, it's her worst ever.
It's her worst ever. I love her. She's great. She's an icon. She would have to do another take to say that she slept through the role. I'm
convinced they didn't even tell her what she was. They just gave her a page to read and look at the camera.
Yeah. Again, this is Jon Favreau. This is not, some hack director. This is a main director with a legendary star who can't even summon any energy to be in a movie.
We found out that Dave Filoni was in charge of directing some of the parts of it, in particular where they had the puppets. I don't know if I'm not going to excuse this from anybody, but maybe Favreau was sick that day. Maybe he had food poisoning. I don't know. But how we got the awfulness that is Sigourney Weaver's performance, it's beyond me. Yeah. But the performance of the ride might actually be worse, folks. See that segue? See what we did there? That's professionalism. We try anyway. The ride actually decreased wait times with a new movie out, with a new ride changed, still managed to be less than. You'd have thought you'd have seen lines for 2 hours. Instead, it was 25 minutes.
I'm gonna throw one more thing in here.
Please.
Rock and Roller Coaster just dropped a retheme. It's essentially the same ride, but they did a good job with the retheme from everything that we can tell, and the wait times went up. So this isn't a park problem. This is a very specific problem to this horrible attraction.
So here's my final thought, and anybody on the panel who'd like to weigh in, I'd love to have your thoughts on this. If we've invested all this money into Galaxy's Edge, and they have, if we've given it some of the most primo real estate for theme parks in the world, and they have, especially at Disneyland, they're trying to get away from the sequel trilogy by going to the Mandoverse. We saw what happened when they put Luke, Leia, and Han in. They're not part of the Mandoverse. They're the original trilogy characters. We saw that you could not get into the park. It was shoulder to shoulder, even with terrible casting, awful wigs. It was embarrassing. Didn't matter. People showed up in California, where that shouldn't be happening, right? They love the sequels. They don't like the originals. If Mando is this bad, how much longer until they just give up on that as well and say, okay, fine, whatever. You want those crusty, cobwebbed characters from the 70s? Fine. And maybe come February with this, with the re-release of the 77 cut of the original Star Wars, maybe this is when they just say, fine, we hate it, we don't want it, but you want Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Yoda, R2, C-3PO, you want Lando, whatever, we'll just put them in the parks then, and maybe they give up. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, well, actually, no, because Pedro Pascal said he wants to keep playing Mandalorian indefinitely. So
until his body gives out.
As a voice artist,
who would want to give up that gig? He just doesn't literally show up for maybe like a 5-minute cameo.
Did you see, Christian, that he probably made up more than $5 million off this, and the guy, John Wayne's grandson, is out doing interviews saying, well, I'm super grateful, but they didn't pay me hardly anything. Yeah. And he's the guy in the suit the majority of the time.
I mean, I think Pedro's a pretty progressive actor. I'm sure he split the money evenly.
You would think so, right? Socialist Pedro, you'd think he would go there. But, sometimes it turns out that actors don't really believe what they say they believe behind the scenes. It's crazy that way. Good night, game over, drive home safely. Folks, this video is done. But before we all head home, we only ask one thing. Folks, as you get ready to head on out, consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below and share your thoughts, for a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Waste not that beautiful personality of yours. And folks, we would say as you get ready to head out the door, that it has been an honor to spend time with you, an attitude of gratitude each and every time that you elect to join together with us. Breaking bread and breaking entertainment, well, the industry. No, we like entertainment. It's the industry that irks us sometimes. Well, it was a good time. We hope you had a good time. Folks, until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.